Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Transport Fever. I believe this is episode 2. So where we left off, we've got fuel coming up to Pasadena and Arlington. This line just really has started turning a profit. I mean, it's still not showing much, but it's making some money. But a little bit of we can actually upgrade these vehicles. So let's replace these vehicles. Let's see here. So we can do either one of these. We might as well do this. So this is going to cost 1.1 million, but gets us new vehicles. And then let's also do that on our distribution lines. No new ships yet, so can't really upgrade those. But I think what we will work on in today's episode is maybe getting a little bit of passenger transit within the cities. Maybe two or three horse and buggies in some of these smaller cities. Maybe 4 or 5 up in like cities as big as Pasadena, or maybe Centennial will probably be 2 or 3. Pasadena looks like it's probably our biggest city to start with. Columbia is doing pretty good as well. A lot of these, Thornton, we could actually also start shipping some fuel up to. We can do a little train line maybe, and then eventually we could also get the gears getting produced and brought back down through here to ship up the river, especially up to like Pasadena. Well, that's pretty much about it, the way it looks. Maybe Pembroke Pines as well. And I'm sure a bunch of these other cities may end up taking them as well, but Hayward also needs them. Fontana needs them. It kind of works out. We can make steel right in here as well, so that'll work out well. And planks are a different story. Let's see here, where are our closest? So we have planks over here. Um, we could also make steel up here. And we could make lumber over here. So if we really wanted to, we could ship lumber all the way down through here. Oh, there is also a lumber mill here, so we could do a quick little port here to a port here. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad at all. And then we can make steel up here, train it down to here. Yep, train all that down to here. Like I was saying, it wouldn't be hard to put a harbor right here and a harbor here. Just make that connection. Or we could put a set of tracks down through here if we so choose to. Ships would probably be the cheapest way to do it. Probably the most efficient too, because I mean we can get like 70 storage for 600K versus like 1.8 mil, I think it is, for trains. And that's not counting you have to lay track all the way down through here. But I'm not exactly sure what the best plan could be. There's also another factory right here if we wanted to. Yeah, I think we'll just take a train like right on the shoreline here. And we'll do some parallel tracks that way so we can put 2 trains on it. And then from there, what we will also do is then have an extension of this train line from here. We'll have this running over past Thornton and into what will be a pretty decent sized train station over here. Then we also need to get steel, which we'll obviously take from this steel mill here, which we can feed from this iron and this coal mine here. And I think that should be enough to get us started anyway. If we need to improve that, we have this iron mine here and this coal mine here, so we have options. But enough chit chat, let's get to laying track and see if we even have enough money to really even get started with this. Let's see here. Let's put the track over here and let's set it to be a double track. That cost $370,000, so that's really expensive. And then we can also do a little bit of rotation here. Place that track there, and let's connect it via roadway. And there we go, we should be connected now. Yes, we are. Let's go to tracks. Let's do parallel tracks, 2 of them. And put 4-meter spacing between them. Yeah, sure, that looks good. So that'll head up through here. It's going to be quite expensive, especially right there. And we'll come in on the roadside there. Let's turn off the parallel tracks real quick. And we'll just manually do the parallel. Then that'll come in like that. And then we'll do a little merger right there. And let's set our signals up through here. Alright, so what we also need to do is back that up a little bit. And build our tracks coming in. And we'll place our last signals right there. So that's that integrated in. So from here, we need to take these planks all the way up here to the gear station. And truthfully, what wouldn't be a bad idea to at least get the gears to Hayward here would be to have the train pick up some of the gears on the way back and drop them off here. And we could honestly send our distribution line from Hayward down to here, pick up the gears, take them up here. We'll just have 5 or 6 go to that. That might be our cheapest way. But let's not get too hasty here. Let's get that rotated around. Let's put 3 on this. And let's build a quick little roadway. To get that all nice and connected. Like that. So this is a pretty long train line, so we'll want to get it on as smooth as ground as possible. Let me get rotated around like that so I can actually see. So we're coming in on the right hand side here, so we'll come out on the left. Let's do the parallel tracks. Let's put them a little bit closer together. So we save on our cost. Yep, that'll work just fine. Yeah, we're gonna kind of just follow the. Ooh, I didn't double. I think it's where it crossed the road. A little bit of bonus track there, but that's fine. Yeah, it doesn't like the roads. And then let's kick this back over this way. Getting a little pricey here, but we can bring this to right here, and that'll be a good stopping point for our dual track. And just like that, we have another section of rail laid. That would have been much cheaper to do by ship, but we just still had to do a little bit of train work. Also do need to make sure we reconnect the track down here. And then what we'll also do, that way so we don't have to, is there a way that we can do a little bit of a cheeky connection point in? Just like that. That way so we only have to place down one depot. I don't want them to use that line, but we'll just have to check on that when it comes to making the line. So that gets us gears. Let us build a truck station right here. And we'll just place down some truck unload stops, or probably just one for now, right there. Let's make a line. So we want to go from that truck stop to that one. And this will be Hayward Distribution. We need to remember to actually put trucks on that here in a minute. So that gets us to that. And when we build our trains, we need to keep in mind, or at least the trains from the sawmill to the gear factory. Let's go ahead and do that. We can actually take out $10 more million in loans. Let's get our depots set up. If we can, I'd like to set that up there. No, and that won't work. That's unfortunate. Let's try that out for size. Quick little, oops, quick signal there. And let's make our lines. So we want to go from the sawmill, or from the lumber yard to the sawmill. And that will be lumber production for, I think it's actually like machines is what it's actually called. So we got that line made. And then from there, we also need to do from Hayward up to the machine production. So we need to name this lumber to machine. And let's actually designate these as train lines. Alright, so that's the lumber side sorted out, other than actually buying the trains, of course. But we can get to that here momentarily. Need to get the whole steel production figured out. This is going to be a costly line through here. So I'm tempted to try to El Cheapo this by using the same lines and just have a pass through for the iron over here. So I think that's what we'll do. Cargo station. Really only need one track. Yeah, that sounds good. Actually, this one needs two. So let's do that. And then there are these other two. Need to do a quick little spin. Can go there and there. So let's get to making our tracks. And then we'll throw in a cheeky little crossover here. And then if we place our signals on that, we'll be good to go. Because we'll have the one line of trail, or tracks. So let's see here. I'm trying to extend the tracks. Oh, that's a problem. Let's fix that. I see why it was having a fit. We'll just do that. And delete that out. I don't know why that was being such a pain, but we'll make do. And let's throw our traffic signals in. I say traffic like it's not trains, but it'll be fine. Yeah, we'll want to keep them separate back to at least there. Alright, this is where things get expensive because we have got to cut a hole through that mountain and come out way over here. We'll come back and fix that here momentarily. Oh, okay, it actually just built a little hump there into a tunnel. And that gets us to right here, which is connected there, but we do need to have a crossover point somewhere. So we may have to take that back out here. And just like that, that'll be good. We're definitely going to spend at least 10 million on trains here. We're going to have to for this to actually be productive. This may have been a little bit too big of a task for where we are. But that right there should work. And let's add a new line from, that's not what I meant. Let's see here, let's add a line from the steel mill to the machinery factory. Rename that to there. And then what we can do, I am really tempted to do a little bit of something kind of questionable, but just to do that, I think that's the play. Just having a one line share the train. No, don't delete the line. And it'll be steel production train. And so what we can do to connect all these without, let's see here. Okay, that still works like how it's intended to. Just got there, that was what passes through. And then what we can also do is just come off of here. A little bit of a, accidentally doubled that, but that's fine. That's a little bit of wasted money. So we should be able to get everywhere now. So first things first, let's go ahead and borrow as much money as we can. And we're going to pray that it's enough. Secondly, we go to our road depot here. And let's buy, I don't know, 4. And make that our Hayward distribution. Okay, and then we did put in the train depot down here, so let's get the bald one, since it goes much faster. Let's see here. Okay, so let's get our gondola ready to go. That's only 35 capacity. It's going to cost us 2 million. That's all we can really afford. Let's do a steel production. So this train will work on that. So let's see here. We need a. What do we need? How did I set this up? So I need a lumber or a wood to here. Let's do that real quick. Let's just do a general. So it's a little bit cheaper. Let's make that 49 capacity. That should go there. And then I truthfully can't afford the Baldwins. So let's see here. For that, I need a train with some of those to get our planks up there. And then I need some boxcars on the end. It's like this train's not going to go anywhere, but let's see here. That'll be that one. Alright, so what are we missing? A good easy way to check. Let's just go through these lines here and just see what doesn't have anything on it. Alright, we need steel to machines. Is that doing anything other than steel to machines? No. Let's do another general. And you have the steel capabilities. Alright, so in theory, that should work. Alright, we are starting to produce wood. Alright, are we producing up here? We are producing some iron up here. Coal's not connected, so that's a problem within itself. And you are starting to get coal, so that's good. Let's speed up the time a little bit, because it's going to take some time for our trains to get going. And they'll eventually sort their way up the line and get all figured out. We will eventually be putting more trains on each line, which can't really afford to yet. Is there a line in particular that we think might need more help? Honestly, there's a lumber to the. Let's add a. Can we afford another one on that? So that's going to be lumber to machines. Not even on the right one there. Can we clone that vehicle? No. Let's see here. No, let's not replace it. Let's just go back to the base here. And we'll see if we can't buy a train to go in there. So we need lumber And then we also need gear capabilities. So that's 2.5. That's all we can afford, but that's better than nothing. Not wood to lumber. That's not the right one. Lumber to machine production. Yeah, that's the one we need. We'll just see how it plays out to start with. Why are you on that side? Why? That's no good. And it doesn't know that it can go. Actually, it has to go that way. I am silly goose. Hopefully this doesn't kerfuffle it right here. Okay, it does have a thing both ways here. Oh Lord. Let's turn you around real quick. Um, let's do a little bit of track fixing. That should solve that problem. But we'll let this guy fix himself, and we'll be good to go after that. Alright, so I believe we've got all of our problems situated. Um, we are producing everything, I believe, at this point. Yep, we got some steel made up here. They'll eventually come back up here and pick it up, but he just has came down. And we already have 34 planks here. So we're just waiting on this first load of steel to get brought in. I need to get another train up here ASAP. But let's see here. We're massively in the hole so far, but that's kind of figured. Like the lumber to machine, it is currently losing 500K a year. That's not great. But our steel machine's got its first 16 there. So in theory, our first goods should be about to be made, or machines. They should be about to be produced any second now. And yep, and there they are. We've got 3 out on the tracks waiting for pickup from this train that is currently heading back over there. But we actually have a second one of those, so it'll be this train here with 24 wood in it currently. So we need to do a lot of increasing here, but we've got to start. Eventually we will be, that might be close enough honestly, that if we build the port far enough back this way, it may connect to this train station. And then we can just hook it straight up to the Pasadena port down here, which will work out really good for us. Also, wouldn't hate sending some to Fontana. But it is what it is. Yeah, that guy's not leaving with anything with it. So let's just take you and let's change lines to be steel production. I think that may be a good call. I'm fairly confident we're not going to pick up over 49 for a while with what we have right now. So he has 24, and his next batch will be being produced. It's just waiting on steel at the moment, which is currently being made, but not really gonna be any with him. So let's just flip him around real quick. That way, so he picks up these 12 steel here. It's not worth him making that trip. Let's see here. What am I looking for? Oh no, it's not in that list. Hmm. We've got a lot of vehicles in the red, that is for sure. Alright, towns, that's what we was looking for. We're not even really supplying them that well. Like Arlington, only 11 out of 47. I think that just might be because Pasadena is just absolutely eating it. Because it doesn't seem like it's a problem of actually distributing it. Because we're taking 20 versus 70. Let's actually do a quick little check in on this. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely covering everything. That's kind of weird. Hmm. So this isn't really even upgraded yet. So I think we can actually tax our lines just a little bit more. Where are we even refining this at? Is it over here? Yeah. You are pretty much taxed out, so it's not great, but let's see if we can't. There's another one here, and we can almost just tap in right here. So Hayward's about to start getting. They're bunched together, which I'm not a fan of, so let's turn two of you around. That way, so it kind of scatters them out a little bit. There's 415 oil just sitting here still. Do we need to get more boats? That actually makes sense that you're taxed out and you're not. Um, Yikes. What to do about that? What to do? So we're getting gears to here. We could send. There's not really a good way to do this, is it? Because our fuel, it's making. They're making their trips worth it. So we're gonna have to send a boat up, but we're not gonna have anything to bring back with it. Hmm. That's the problem. Unless we could start producing some of the boxes down here, which wouldn't be awful to do. But that seems like a problem for future me here. Oh, we actually are gaining money still. I'm kind of surprised by that. Let's see here. What do we need? Maybe another lumber? You filling up? Mm, yeah, you're pretty much full. I guess let's just repay off the loan a little bit. That way, so we just have it sitting there while I'm thinking about this. Once I figure out what we're gonna do, I'll be back with you. So, truthfully, it looks like we need to. What was I doing? Let's manage this. Let's just add another one to the steel production. I think that'll be the way to go. And then the next thing we'll do after this is we'll put another train on getting the lumber from down here to the plank factory, or to the sawmill, I guess would be the technical term. Uh, yeah. So we are starting to produce quite a few. Not terribly many. But how is Hayward doing in terms of supply? So 13 of 65. That's not terrible. And they are starting to build, so that's good. But that just means the demand will be increasing soon. I really don't know if I can justify sending a. Let's do it. Why not? Let's just let's just do it. Let's just put up some machines. Let's take them down to Pasadena. Why not? And we'll put. I think we'll end up putting 2 ships on it. Yeah, let's do this one. But we'll also space them out a little bit. So we'll try to wait until maybe this one gets down here. So that'll be a minute before he gets down there. I remaxed out the loans, by the way. But let's see here. Our fuel is doing extremely well now. Um, yeah, we're kind of losing money on everything else at the moment, but kind of expected. I'm not worried about doubling that yet. We need to fix this, and we also need to get another one going on that. That's a $3 million train right here. 3 and 2 million. So we need $5 million before we can really do much else. So I'm gonna save up that money, and I will be back with you. All right. So I think we finally. Well, maybe we don't have quite enough money yet. There we go. Now we got the money. I had already purchased the other logged planks train, so that's 2 on that. And then I did notice that I made a mistake back over here. When I moved those trains earlier, I didn't account for them not having the right card attached to them. But I've got that straightened away now. And of course, I copied the train with the wrong part, so I had two of them like that. So they wasn't doing anything, which is why our steel numbers were so low. But now that should be fixed, and we should see an increase in production. And we have started to ship a few, and I mean a very few, on down here to Pasadena. Let's see here. It's not even showing them getting any, which they may have not yet. Oh, but you have a whopping 4 on you, which is our first ones. I wonder how expensive it's going to be to try to get passenger lines in. Because, I mean, we are going to start running into the problem of residential traffic impeding our delivery systems, which isn't good. But I feel like that may be a problem for next episode since I am out of time. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.